everybody, welcome back. This is So Easy number 2, and I'm really excited to show you how I'm going to quilt this cute little table topper. And then we're going to jump in and talk to you about sewing up or quilting the next quilt that I'm going to put on. And it's my big one, and I get to show you everything that I did and talk to you a little bit more about how I'm going to quilt it. That's part of the whole process. Today we're going to use our new QCT6. So it's really self-explanatory. This is very, very easy. We're going to just open it up by tapping where it says edge to edge. And now you'll see I have a rolling frame, and it's asking me to set my safe area. Please read the screen. The safe area are the parameters that we're setting. Now, there are very important parameters. It's telling you to be at least 2 inches up off of above the top edge of your quilt. So I'm going to use my ruler, okay? Notice this, I'm using my ruler, okay? Top edge of my quilt, okay? And I'm also going to move it 2 inches. But I have to move it this way because you'll notice that I have it moving out, and then I'm going to do top left, and then I'm going to move across and go move down and tap on bottom right. All right, let's go select our design. And I want to go into my file folder. So you'll see on the screen there's a Karla Jerome file folder. I'm going to open that up. This Spirals and Paisley is a really cute one. It's a little busier, but I'm going to open it up. All right, so it's a little dense, you'll notice, but on the next screen where you tap on where it says next, it's the bottom right. This is where we can set the design height. I want it a little larger. I have a 16-inch throat space, and so I can have mine a little larger. And so I'm going to put mine 5 inches. All right, and I think that's pretty cute. So I will continue on after I've set my height. I'm going to tap on next. Now here's where we can adjust our row spacing. You'll notice on the screen that you have a little gap in between. We can use a negative to pull them closer. If we do too much, it'll start overlapping, or we can start creating more space in between. So you decide how you want to quilt it out. I'm just going to maybe tap on one, give it 1/8 of an inch, and make it closer together. All right, and now I've set my spacing. I'm going to tap on next. I just want to show you one thing. Also, use your zoom in and zoom out. So zoom in. And now when we're zoomed in, you can see how close you are. And maybe you don't want it that close. Maybe you just want to add a little bit more of a gap, especially you that are using a hoop frame. You do want a little bit more spacing in between. So be very careful, okay? And add a little bit extra space. You don't want too much, but you just want to zoom in to see if it's just right. And I think having it at 0 is actually a better spacing than giving it a little closer together than 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to tap on next. All right, so now we're going to set the top edges of our quilt top. All right, so I'm going to select this top edge right here on the very top tier. You'll notice that you have a top, a middle, and a bottom. That's the area I'm going to work with. All right, so I'm going to take my machine. Because this is an odd shape, okay, we're kind of sewing off the edge, and I'm kind of guesstimating right here. I'm going to set the edges right here. So I'm going to come right here and tap, and then I'm going to come right up here. I'm going to go right here and tap on that corner. I might bring it in slightly. All right, now I'm going to go across the top. Notice that I'm sewing off the edge. I'm going to go across the top, making sure I'm past this point right here. I'm tapping right here, and then I'm going to pull it down right here. Okay, I've set my edges. Now I'm just going to tap on next. All right, so you notice that my placement nodes, it's already gone and placed it for me, which is fine. So now I'm going to have it move to the right. This we're going to mark, okay? So I'm going to get my little pin here and tap on my single stitch. Okay, so I made a single stitch, and where the thread's coming out, that's where I'm going to place my pin, okay? So I'm going to place my pin right there. That is my first mark. Now I'm going to tap on move to left. It's going to move across the quilt. Very slowly. All right, and I'm going to tap on my single stitch right under where it says move left. There's a single stitch. This is just helping me mark, and where the thread's coming out, that's my mark. So I'm marking along the edges, okay? So there are my first two marks. Okay, so now we can tap on next. And we're going to let our needle move to near the starting stitch, okay? So you'll notice that on the screen, that green circle is where it's going to start stitching out. So I'm going to tap on starting stitch. It's going to move and actually make a single stitch. Just say okay. It's just preparing you that the machine's going to move. Okay, we did our starting stitch. That's where it's going to start quilting. Okay. And we're ready to tap on next. And we're ready to sew it out. See how cute it's going to be? So, let's just start sewing. Tap on sew and let it do its thing. After it's done its tie-off. Yeah, so notice it's sewing off the quilt. That's why we tacked it down. So as it comes on, starts sewing on, that's going to be fine. Now, it says continue, okay? And so I know I need to cut my thread. There's another screen for that, but I know how to do it. So I'm going to pull it forward because it released the carriage, and then I'm going to hold on to my thread tail. And I'm going to pull it back from right to where it stopped quilting. Right there, tied off the stitch. There's a little single stitch up at the top of the screen. You'll notice a little needle that has a 1 with a plus on it, right across from the red X on the left side of the screen. If you go move towards the right, you'll see a single stitch, and you can pull up your thread. If you'll hold on to it, then you can cut it. And now we're ready to mark for our next row, okay? So we're going to tap on continue, and it says now we can pull our bobbin thread. I've already done that, so I'm going to tap on next to the right of the screen, and you'll hear that it's locking into place because it's going to move to where I'm going to mark for my next row, okay? So you'll see that it has a little single stitch right here. I want to tap on this single stitch. Now, because it's marking off the quilt, I could actually use a Sharpie or a pen. And this time I'm going to use it because I'm going to take this quilt off and move it to another frame to finish quilting it. So, I'm ready to tap on next. It's going to lock, and as it's pulling out, I want you to notice what's happening with the thread. I'm going to mark right where that thread's coming out, right there. That's my mark. Now it's moving across to mark for your next row on the left side, okay? So now I'm going to tap on my single stitch. And then where the thread comes out, that's my next mark. So now I've marked. I can now tap on next and place my design. And I'm going to use the marks, okay, that I just made with the machine. So I'm going to move over to the left, line my needle up, or line my needle up and place it, okay? So I'm gonna place it right here, and then I'm gonna move across to the right, line my needle up over the mark, and place my other side. Okay, see how it adjusted it up and down? Okay, so now you notice where it's gonna start quilting. I could tap on next and go to the starting stitch and start all over for my next row down. So it's been lots of fun. I'm really excited to have you join me for next time when we show you a different way to use pantographs on your beautiful quilts using the Pro version of the automation. So I'll see you back here next time.